G'day guys, Brett Thompson here and welcome to another weekly webinar, session number 2 for the Write Like a Pro Copywriting Mastermind. Super pumped and excited about today. Before we get into it, I want to do a very quick circle and say good day to all the guys on the call at the moment. And we'll just do something very quick. We'll call this a lightning catch up. When I say lightning, like 30 seconds. How's your week been? Have you been able to implement anything from the first session, which was conversational copy? Did you have a practice? Did you go a bit wild with it and put into action? But I'm just going to be mindful of the time here, so I'm just going to keep everyone to 30 seconds or under, just a bit of a lightning round. So in no particular order, but I'll start with, well, first of all, I'll welcome Adrian and Heather. You guys went on the last week's call. But these guys, I work with them as our influencers, our higher end mastermind, absolutely amazing people, brilliant business owners and really good movers and shakers. So welcome to the group, guys. And just for people watching the recording, I apologise about the blue screen. Do not ask me how it happened. I just don't know how to change it. So that's what we're putting up with for this week. So, Adrian and Heather, do you want to have a quick good day to everyone?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Yeah, great to be on the group. I've watched the webinar from last week anyway, so I've got a few ideas. Making very conversational stuff and sent out an email blast or 2 email blasts yesterday and the day before. We got 4 bounces and 4 unsubscribes. This was to about 300 people, and probably I think it was about 29% unique opens,
awesome.
180, and like 3.4% click-throughs. You know, so and actually people got back to us and said, yeah, we're still interested and we're keen, leave us on the list. You know,
fantastic, mate. Well done. And just so you guys on the call know, these guys build like affordable kit homes. They're stunning homes that, you know, when you say the word kit, it's not like a slap up job. It's they look like stunning what we call Queenslanders in Australia. They're beautiful. Lenique and I iron one off.
Good.
So thanks for that. All right, now we'll go down to Steve Cornelius from NZ, mate. Just a quick 30-second snapshot. Have you had a bit of a practice with some conversational copy? Oh, sorry, mate. You got to mute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
I thought that might have been automatic, but not to worry. Yeah, hi everyone. I guess I don't know whether I can say it's just a slow sort of start to it, but there's a few other things I need to put under the bridge and out of the way. I've had a good go at some of the copy that I put together for my Facebook second campaign that I'm putting out, and I sent some over to you, Brett. You probably got that, and then I put it through the Hemingway, is it? Had a look at that thing, put the copy through there, and thought, well, this will be interesting to look at. So you've got that as well. It was interesting just to see that it probably wasn't too bad at the start, but obviously there was a few improvements I could have made. So I've actually done those now, and we'll see. So yeah, just starting to really get into it. Cheers.
Well done, mate. Thanks for that. I'm glad you're using some of the. So apart from the weekly catch-ups where we dive deep in one topic, I'll be doing little breakaway videos or nuggets during the week. So I'm glad you got a lot out of that Hemingway app. It's helping a lot of people, which is cool. Now we're going to go to I suppose the captain of the group, the reason why we're all here, Mr. MacKenzie from Japan. How are you, brother?
Good morning.
There you go, man.
I wasn't out jogging at midnight last night, but I was still excited. Let's see. From last week, I started rereading the Gary Halbert letter. I'd been in a couple hundred pages, and then I picked it up again after our call, and I started writing down some of those transitional phrases which you suggested. And I got a lot of them. I got a lot out of it. And then I also found that I missed a lot because I just got so engaged in his writing that I just would forget to look for those phrases, and I'd get halfway through a letter and have to go back and look for them again. So I got a lot out of reading the Gary Halbert letter last
That's
week.
cool, man. I kid you not. Like, if that's all I had to do, if I had to just pick one guy to learn from, and that's it, I'll just immerse myself in him, because he's the way, like you said, without realizing, he pulls you into a story. You've got halfway through, you go, whoa, what happened? Like, that's masterful, mate. And look, I'm glad you took action on that, because that's exactly what I did when I started. I just cut and paste little conversational connectors, and then it just helped me do that naturally as well. So well done. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Now we're going to go to our main man, Krit. Are you able to unmute yourself and say good day, buddy, or are you on the phone? Hello? Oh, no, you got to unmute yourself. Hold on. There you go. Try that. Oh, no, we can't hear you, man. Bugger. That's all right. It happens to me. Some things sometimes gets a bit buggy. So Kit says hi in the chat. Now we're going to go to our good friend of ours, Elaine from WA, Western Australia. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning over there, and Elaine's just joined us in the group. She wasn't there last week, but she's actually done this for the second time she's doing it. So that says a lot, isn't it? How you going, Elaine?
I'm going really well, thanks, Brett. Yes, I'm getting much more out of it the second time round. It's been really great. And I've also been working with the Gary Halbert letters. What I've been done is taking the phrases out of them and then translating them into my own words. For example, he spent 18 months crafting, and my version of that was he spent 1.5 years creating.
Yeah.
So that you can do that. My time with you is limited, and my version, I only have a short time to spend with you.
Yeah, cool.
So that it's putting it into my own words. And the other one is, this is the most incredible offer. This offer defies belief.
Nice, awesome. I'm glad you made a good point. You know, we can get inspired by reading other people's copy. Look, when I read John Carlton stuff, like it's so descriptive. It's so professional. Like it just blows my mind with some of the things I read. It's just so impressive. But at the same time, to my audience, it's not like me. So I have to write like I speak. So I'm glad you put your own twist in that. Thanks for that, Elaine. Yes.
The other thing is, I wasn't on the call last week because we had a power failure. And living in the Pilbara, this sort of thing happens quite often.
Right.
I'll catch up later on with the thing. I've also got a house guest at the moment. And on the weekend, I had computer issues, really serious ones. I couldn't get into emails. And I feel very proud of myself. I went through support desk and got it fixed.
Well done. That's not easy when you're a non-techie. I know how you feel. Thanks for that, Elaine. That's awesome. So we'll just quickly fly through. We've got Ian Barnes. G'day, mates. You're from WA as well. So I'm not sure if you want to unmute yourself and tell everyone what you do in 30 seconds, if possible, or where are you? No, don't have a mic yet. No worries. We'll catch you on the next round, mate. But thanks for jumping on. Another one who's jumped on at 6 a.m. Appreciate it, buddy. Now we've got next one on the list is our main man Ian, who I'm going to be doing a critique for. Hey Ian, how are you, buddy? Ian Sheen, sorry. Yeah. Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
I'm trying.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
I can now, yeah.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm doing well. This past week, I was going through the Gary Halbert letters myself.
Excellent.
I was focusing on what you had mentioned last week about getting into what people are thinking, how they are thinking. And I noticed how he basically, he asks questions and then he answers the questions. Basically, you don't even get a chance to it's kind of like a dialogue, but not really.
Yeah.
But I found that very interesting how he would ask the question and then answer the question and then compliment them for being smart or something.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very interesting sequence.
Oh, he's brilliant. So an example of that would be, is this something you'd want to? I'm not sure. Is this something you'd want to hear about? And then he'll say, "Of course you do. You're smart," or something like that. And you'll just
something like that.
You'll fill in the gaps.
Right.
And you see other thing that he does, which is just fascinating, where he'll say something like, "Oh, that's right." He'll say something like, "I've got something pretty important to tell you, but I might do that next week." And then you say, "Oh, bugger, I'll tell you now. Here it is." And so he's just like, he brings you into his brain, and he doesn't filter anything. You just mind unfold. It's fascinating and it's intriguing, and it keeps you reading.
Right. Anyway, this week I was working on some funnel copy.
Cool.
Just kind of playing with the different styles and trying to figure something out. Pretty kind of just practicing, really.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool, man.
Which
done.
we'll look at later. Hopefully.
Yeah, look forward to that. I've got our Top Gun copywriter Gary Hobley on the line. Are you able to jump in and say good day, mate? Are you where's Gary? Or he might be on the phone.
There we go. Hit the wrong button.
Can you hear me? Loud and clear, my man.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Great to be here, actually. I'm looking around at faces here, which you guys, I don't know whether you can see my face. I tried to post something up there earlier, but it doesn't show up, right? Yeah. Okay. Like the rest of you, I've been having a bit of a look at the Gary Halbert letters as well, but I've been going back through some of John Carlton's emails because I'm on his mailing list, and I was doing some comparisons because, they were best buddies and all the rest of it. And yeah, it's funny. Gary Halbert stuff flows easy. John Carlton's sort of flows the same, but it's got attitude. It's like there's a hint of I don't really care what you think. I'm still going to tell you anyway.
Yeah, I think they both share that. The more you read Gary Halbert, he definitely has that attitude as well. But yeah, but keep going. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, one of the most interesting things I noticed was in the Halbert letter I was reading the other day. He says he cracks it basically, and he says, "Oh, that's it. I've had enough. I'm going to hand it over to my secretary. She's going to fill in the next bit." Right, and then I couldn't even notice any difference in the writing. I'm thinking, he's bullshitting. He's pulling our legs. But then I got to thinking about it, and I'm thinking, actually, his secretary. I think Gary Halbert wrote everything longhand with a pen. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
So, and then his secretary typed it all up so that could be sent out. So potentially she would have learned his lingo because she would have been writing it all the time. And it spoke to me about associations and how we connect. And this is one of the reasons why it's really good to hang with other copywriters and to read successful copy.
Absolutely, man. Well done. I appreciate that. And yeah, in one of Gary Halbert's letters, he demonstrated one of his sales letters and saying how awesome it was. And then right at the end, he said, "Oh, by the way, that wasn't me who wrote it. That was my secretary." Because she's been, and because I mean, that's what a lot of. I know MacKenzie, you've done a copywriting course where you had to handwrite something every single day for I don't know how many days, but it does it. It links it to the brain in a whole new different way. Now, hopefully, I haven't forgotten anyone because I just want I want to kind of get into it. So we've got Adrian, Elaine, Gary, and Krit. Cool, awesome. So, guys, I have to pre-warn you, right? I'm going to go super fast today because I've got to leave. I added some more bits and pieces in than I did on the earlier time I did this. So, and then the one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to be kind of like, I don't want it to be death by PowerPoint, but this is going to be, you get pneumonia by PowerPoint in this one. It's going to be a lot. But it's really important. I don't want to leave anything on the table and just give you everything I can in the shortest, succinct way. It's going to go pretty rapid, fast. Then I've got a couple of examples to show you. Then I want to go and jump on and check out Ian's critique. And if I've got time, I've got to check out Steve's as well. I think, Steve, you didn't put yours through the questionnaire. You put it through the Facebook group. But if we've got time, we'll do that as well. Cool. Let me go and change screens for a second.
Brett, you've gone white.
Yeah.
You're no longer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, Brett, this is MacKenzie. I don't know if you have this planned or not for today, but it would be helpful for me anyway, just to go over the curriculum and where we are in the curriculum each week, to say here we are in the course of things, and so that way I have a cognitive map of where we are in the course of the 3 months. Can you do that?
Yeah. So you want an outline of the 12 weeks in advance, do you, or the 12 sessions?
If that's available, yeah. So like last week we covered.
I suppose I can. I for my own entertainment in my brain, I kind of like just surprising you. This is what I'm doing, and here's why. Here's what we did last week. But there's nothing. There's no method to my madness, except surely just because that's what I thought would be cool. So, but if you'd prefer that, or if you guys would prefer to know what's coming up and not be teased about it, because I do like teasing you, then let me know and I can let you know. So what I'm going to do is jump straight in and go. I've got to keep an eye on the time. Rightio, here we go, guys. So last week we did conversational copy because I knew that if you inject that into your business straight away, you can get awesome results. A lot of people talk about understanding your client first and all that, but as business owners, you have a fairly good idea of what your clients are. And I wanted to give you the biggest bang for your money, and hopefully some of you are able to send emails out and get business from it, like Adrian and Heather did. Next one I'm going to talk about is copywriting formulas. The reason being is because I want to show you how to write super fast. I want you to avoid the blank screen syndrome. See, I can arm you up with all this copywriting skills, and you can bury yourself in books and courses, but when you sit up and have to try and stare at a blank screen, a lot of people freeze, right? Also want to give you these formulas so you've got a framework to write, so you don't have to try and you want to try and minimize that creative space as much as you can, because you need that creativeness to come up with the big idea and the big hook. That's why Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and a bunch of others, they just wear the same clothes over and over again, because they're saving their creative space in their brain. And that's why having and really knowing some copywriting formulas down packed is you can just take it off the shelf, put it in, and just fill the gaps, right? Reason being is and it allows you to write in chunks, which is, and you might have heard me say this before, but money is attracted to speed. First heard that from Dan Kennedy. Money is attracted to speed. For years I've been teaching copywriting, and I've used to get up on stage and say copywriting is the most lucrative skill you can have in your business, right? Now I don't say that anymore. I say speed copywriting is the most lucrative skill in your business, because anyone can write a phenomenal sales letter. If you give yourself 3 months, you go over and critique it, and you spend all day, but you know you're cutting yourself out of potential income opportunity and other activities. Actually, someone just might have accidentally unmuted themselves, so if you guys can just make sure you mute just for the recording, that'd be cool. So having a good framework and formulas allows you to write in chunks, right? And then when you've got the bare bones down, then you can kind of add some flavour into it as well. And I'm going to show you some sales formulas. I mean, the sales formulas, that's ultimately what we do. Yeah, we're and copywriting is just salesmanship in print, which is what Claude Hopkins came up with that, and that's as hard to be beaten as far as a good description of what a copywriter does. So starting off, I'm going to start with what might seem like basics for a lot of you guys, but like a black belt. Black belt is just mastering the basics, right? And this, again, the purpose of this is just to help you write faster, because the faster you can write, the better results you come in. Now, the results can be good or bad. Even if they're bad, at least you know what's not working and you've got more time to punch out and improve it, right? So it's all about speed for this one here. So the first one, very, very simple. For short, something short is a PAS, problem, aggravate, solve, right? So if you're doing a Facebook ad and you just want a short copy, problem, aggravate, solve, or a short 60-second video script, just stuff that's short and punchy, nice and easy. Don't strain your brain too much anymore at this stage. Or even text message. If you use text message in your marketing funnel, problem, aggravate, solve is a good formula. Now, if you've got a little bit more space and you want to kind of throw some fuel onto it, the next one is this, right? It's problem and aggravate. Now, I'm not sure. Sorry, someone's trying to send me a message. I won't. If you do need to ask a question, you can unmute yourself, but I won't be reading the chats right now. But unmute yourself if you need to jump in and ask the question. So when I say problem, you just identify the most commonly shared problem, right? Ultimately, and then aggravate is you kind of put the knife in and twist the knife, right? And the good way of doing that is telling a story, and that's an awesome way of kind of embellishing that problem, and so they feel the emotions, because anyone can identify, can just name the problem. Like you could say not get enough clients, question mark, but so many people are saying that, but there's because it's so commonly used, there's not a lot of emotion in it. But so aggravating and telling a story or bleeding it out in a way where you can talk about the ups and downs of the peaks and troughs of income, and whatever, you know, financial strain or stress on the family, whatever the case. But if you aggravate it, then all of a sudden you're adding emotion to it. That's why it's an important aspect of it, right? The next thing I want to introduce you to is to discredit other solutions. So before you, instead of just going straight to the solution, discredit or invalidate other solutions, right? And do it ethically. I'll give you an example. I was at a property seminar, Lenique and I, might have been last year, and one guy got up on stage and was talking about how if you want to make an income in property, you have to go and look at your local area, go to all the auctions, and if you can hit that magic 100, go to 100 auctions. By the time you've done that, you have a really good understanding of the market, and you'll be able to spot opportunities, and the money is in the purchase, right? The money you make is in the purchase, so that's the best thing you can do. But what you don't want to do is buy off the plan, because you're buying like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of marketing off the plan. You don't want to buy overseas, because what if something goes wrong and there's no guarantee? Right? Then the next speaker came up, and guess what he was selling? Off the plan. He said, "Who's got time to run around, going to 100 different auctions? Buy off the plan. They've put $1 million of infrastructure. It's the most guaranteed way to get almost instant capital growth, because they've got the big players. They're building schools and shopping centres around it, and it's perfectly been picked, and you're almost guaranteed going to get long capital growth. But you don't want to go overseas because what if something goes wrong?" And the next one came on, and guess what he was selling? Overseas, buying property in America. And he said, why buy property for X amount of dollars when you can buy 3, maybe even 4 in the US? And the US is going like this, like that right now. The world's greatest investor, Warren Buffett, is buying US property like there's no tomorrow. Now, who'd like to invest like the world's great, so on and so forth? You don't want to buy off the plan because, and blah, blah, blah. So a good professional person will bring up your problems, aggravate them, and then before they offer their solution, they'll actually discredit. They'll close all the doors. So if you walk into a room and you don't know which door to go, then you could lose some sales. But if you close all the other doors, so the only door that go through is through you, that's a good mechanism to do ethically discredit other solutions. Then when you've done that, then you offer your solution, right? Here's your solution, right? And then you add credibility, right? And we're going to be doing full webinars on some of these, on like credibility and proof, because it's so important. But people have to want to believe that it's true. So you have to add some credibility as soon as you make a statement and offer your solution. Then you do your call to action after that, right? So that's a very simple one. Problem, aggravate, discredit, solve, credibility, and action. What I'm thinking I might do, guys, is after this, turn all these slides into PDFs for you, because just so I want this to be easy reference for you, so you can have it at a glance, right? I don't want it to you have to go and watch a video again and fast forward it to get to this. Does that make sense? Sound cool? Thanks, MacKenzie. I see your thumb. That's awesome. So the next one is AIDA. Now, understand, I'm not going to just like bury you with formulas here, but this one is really important, because the problem, aggravate, solve is more of the things of writing in chunks, right? You can just write a problem and you can aggravate it by telling a story. So it allows you to write in chunks. But the AIDA formula is more of the psychology behind it. I'll give you an example. So you want to grab their attention again. So you can do the problem, aggravate, solve. But if you really want to make an impact, you've got to really grab their attention, right? The other one is you've got to get them interested, which is pull them into a story. A very simple formula for an ad, for a sales letter, or whatever the case, or an email even, if you want. Then you've got to build desire. So where I see a lot of people go wrong, and this is why this is probably one of the most tried and tested copywriting formulas there is. It's been around since day dot, right? But the reason why they put desire here is because where I see a lot of people go wrong is you try and sell without building the desire. People don't wake up wanting what you've got, right? I mean, there's always exceptions, but you've actually got to, before you present, say, here's what I've got, and belt them over the head with logics and features, you want to actually build up the desire so they want it first, right? Because then it's so much easier to sell. You don't have to sell as hard. If you build up the desire, and here's the thing, and I'm going to talk about this next week, but everyone has a secret desire they want. And your job is to tie your product or service into that desire that they already want. Don't create desire that's not there. That's a write it down. Do not create desire that's not there, because it's the fastest way to lose money, right? Then once you've done that, then you have a call to action. So attention, interest, desire, call to action. Now that's been around for over 100 years or more. I've actually got a new updated version that when I write. These days it's so crowded and the market's changed so much. We get bombarded with marketing messages, and it's really hard to penetrate against your competitors. So if everyone's already doing that AIDA, here's what I think you should do. Instead of grabbing their attention, you should try and shock them, right? What can you do to try and shock them? People need to be shocked these days, right? Now, so how do you do that, you might think? So the way to do it is, when you're coming up with an idea to grab their attention or shock them, there's a safe area and there's a ridiculous area, right? I always try and start at the ridiculous area, something that's just crazy, bizarre, almost offensive, or that I wouldn't be allowed to even talk because it's just off the charts. And then I'll peel it back from there, right? So try and get your brain into that shock area, that shock space, and shock them, because you'll get people's attention more than anything. Instead of gaining their interest, you want to try and fascinate them, right? Anyone can be interested for a little bit of time, but if you fascinate people, right, then you'll do amazing things. Like you look at, I'm a big UFC fan. There's a guy called Conor McGregor. Right, he doesn't just get people's interest. He fascinates people. He shocks them, right? Did anyone watch a bit of Conor McGregor? No? Okay. You can look him up. He's just this brash Irishman who makes Muhammad Ali sound like just a passive, quiet boy. He's just so out there who's just fascinated everyone, and it's quite a good example. So fascinate people. The next one is, instead of creating desire, you want to get them obsessed. You want to make them obsessed. So so think about that again. Get your brain into that. How can I make them completely obsessed about what I do and what I sell, and they become raving fans, right? There's more than just stirring up a little bit of desire. Try and get them fanatical about it, right? And the other one is action. Instead of just taking one action, you want to get them engaged. You want them to come back and buy more and more. Every time you release something, you want them to buy it. Get them engaged. So so that's if you're putting a like an ad together or a video script, and there's whatever. If you need to try to sell anything with copy, see if you can shock, fascinate, get them obsessed with this desire to the next level, and ask for engagement more than just one order, right? The next thing, and guys, if you have any questions, just write them down, and you can ask me at the end if you've got time, or if you think it's really urgent, just jump in and ask a question while we're while I'm in the middle of it, because someone else might have the same question as well. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the Gary Benzavenga, who's arguably the greatest copywriter on the planet. He's since retired, but the reason he was called the greatest copywriter on the planet is because in America, copywriting industry is very different, where you can get paid to do what they call a control. If someone's got a mailing list of over 1 million people or whatever, you'll write an advertising package, and then you'll get a bit of a percentage of how many orders come in, right? And then other copywriters can come in and try and write a package and beat yours, and then they get the percentages, right? So it's very dog eat dog world. Well, at the time of his peak, Gary Benzavenga had more controls than anyone. Before he even got out of bed, he was earning $5 million of royalties from his controls that were out there. Anyway, so his agency, he had a formula called the Benzavenga persuasion equation. I'm going to show you what that is, because it's really cool. And if you just pick one, this is a good one to do. You start with the problem, you make the promise, it's the 4 Ps, you add proof, and you make the proposition, or you get them to buy. Problem, promise, proof, proposition. And I've been doing this for years. When I talk to someone and tell me about their business, and they tell me what they do, and it gets a bit confused, and I say, whoa, what's the big promise? And they go, what do you mean? So, if you had to promise something, an outcome, what is that? What's the big promise? It's really interesting to hear people stop and think. They go, wow, and really articulate that, because you've got to try and catch that, right, and try and put that into words and get that promise really, really clear, right? So problem, promise, proof, and proposition. Then Gary Benzavenga took it to a whole new level, and kind of add a bit of fuel on it, right? So if you want to take that formula to a whole new level, you put 4 U's in front of the P's. So have an urgent problem, all right? Have a unique promise, have an unquestionable proof, and user-friendly proposition, right? In fact, this formula that they used became so good and so predictable that they could look at one of their writers could hand in some copy, and they had a bit of a checklist. They'd have a look at the problem, the promise, the proof, and the proposition, and they'd score it out of 5, right? And then they could see how many points it had, and if it was low, they'd send it back until they made it more urgent, or made it more unique and more unquestionable and more user-friendly. User-friendly means multiple ways to order and easy to order. And then when the scoring was relatively high, they'd put it in the market. And more times than not, they'd get an amazing result. Isn't that cool, right? So take note of that one, guys. It's a really good fallback formula that you can actually rate yourself and your own copy, right? Now here's the thing. I want you to. This is kind of digging into the mind. I'm kind of merging into what I'm going to be talking about next week but here's some common objections you want to try and solve, right? Number one, people might think, well, you don't understand my problem. Oh, that's the biggest hurdle to start with. If they don't think you understand their problem, they're not going to listen to you, right, at all, because their problem is consuming them in their mind every waking hour, even if subconsciously is there. So if you try and sell them something without demonstrating you understand their problem, you're starting off on the wrong foot, right? The other one is, how do I know you're qualified? Right? How do I know you're qualified? These are questions that are going through your mind when you're trying to sell someone over the phone, face to face, from stage, or through copy. All right. The other thing is that, I don't believe you. So, they might not, and most people at default don't believe us. They need proof. They need proof. Another one is, I don't need it right now. Right. That's another thing which can limit you from a sale, is I don't need it right now. And use this as a bit of a checklist, guys. And the next slide I'm going to show you is it's a bit of a formula, but I don't need it right now. So you need to have some copy in there in your sales letter to make them want it right now, right? With scarcity and urgency or whatever. It won't work for me, right? It won't work for me. So again, it's another opportunity to relate to their problem, their situation, and give some case studies that could make them think, hey, if it worked for them, it could work for me as well, right? The other one is, what happens if I don't like it? All right, so how do you solve that? Easy, a guarantee. You come up with a guarantee. So these are all, what you're seeing here, these objections are actually opportunities that that you have to kind of answer these questions in the prospect's mind. It gives you a checklist of what to put in a sales piece, right? In a long form sales, especially in a long form sales letter or a video script. The other one is, I can't afford it, right? So then how do you overcome that objection, right? Or would it be split payment plan? Would it be showing you the consequences of not doing it, on how much it's going to cost you if you don't buy it, or if you buy something else, right? So next thing I'm going to show you is a formula for a long form sales letter. Now, and you'll see how I've overcome all those 7 points in there, plus added more. All right. Now, again, if I told you that every single one of my sales letters follows this formula, it would be a lie. I've done a sales letter where I've just had a big benefit headline and some curiosity-filled like sub-headline, and then I just started a story and just told a story all the way through, and it filled events and it did some amazing things, right? So actually, I'll tell you, MacKenzie, do you want to remind me, mate? There's a sales letter which worked very, very well. I'll drop it in the Facebook group. It's called the Masters of Sales letter. Thanks, buddy. So here's a formula for a long form sales letter. Capture their attention, nothing new, and in one of the webinars coming up, I'm going to talk about the pre-head, headline, and the subhead, the trilogy headline, that how you got to make all them work, right? Identify the problem, then aggravate it with a story. Next one is invalidate options, which we talked about, all right? Introduce your solution, add some credibility and credentials, right, about yourself, just to actually believe you, because they say, I don't believe you. List of benefits, if you're writing a seminar letter, it would be, here's the speakers, here's the topics. If it's a product, here's the benefits of using it, right? Then flood with proof, very, very important, and we're going to do a whole webinar on that. Just so again, you're slowly ticking off those 7 points as they go through this. Details with benefits. So this is where you add the features. You can't always sell with benefits. You've also got to have the features as well. Just so, because people buy with emotion, but they justify with logic. So you need to kind of tick those boxes off as well, with some features, or the details and things like that. Present compelling offer, right? So your price and your bonus, that's when you put your offer together. Inject scarcity, call to action, scarcity and urgency. So why would I buy now? That's where you and when you do that, it has to be believable. I'm going to be doing a whole webinar on how to craft an irresistible offer. But this is just a good framework for you. Minimize risk with the guarantee. That again, you can do everything right, but if they think, what happens if I don't like it, then they're not going to buy. So this is a checklist, right? Minimize the guarantee, what to expect when you order, after you order. This is really important. And Gary does this in some of his letters, so does Dan Kennedy. So people, you might do everything right, and they don't know exactly what's going to happen when you order, and they might not even know if that's an objection, right? They might consciously not know that, right? But they go, oh, what's going to happen when I order? It might not be in the forefront of their mind, but there's something that's stopping them. They're unsure. But if you fill that void and you say, here's what's going to happen when you order, boom, you're going to get an email. Our marketing manager is going to give you a call, introduce you. We're going to set things up, and boom, boom, boom. Then all of a sudden, wow, it actually takes them into the future. It kind of future paces them into what it's going to be like after they've ordered. It's a real powerful click that you should try and never miss if you've got an opportunity to write some long copy. The other one is you give a warning, the consequences of not taking action, really kind of flush that out. It's something that you can do. And there's plenty of other things, and close to remind the benefits. So you close them and try and have a bit of a summary. You can do PSs. PSs usually, if you're going to do 3 PSs, the first one will be like the big benefit. Remind them kind of, so whatever the big headline was, try and reiterate it down in the first PS. The second PS is usually the guarantee again, and if you can inject some proof in there as well, but you try and inject the guarantees to make it safe. And the third PS is usually the scarcity and urgency. They have to act now, right? So that's a very simple form. There's plenty of other little things you can insert into a long form. So like you might see who this is for and who this is not, and so on and so forth, right? And also in and around there, some of those things won't be just all copy, they'll be bullet points, right? So again, we'll be doing a session on that, right? So next thing is, what are we doing with time? Okay, I'm just going to speed it up, but a video script formula, which is as a simple one. I'm going to give you something. You can show them what, but not how, right? So when I'll start that again. So when you're doing a video formula and you want to try and sell something, you show them you can show them what to do, but not how to do it. So Elaine, in your photography, you want to do a video script, you tell them what you do. You need to take stunning pictures. You need this tool, you need that tool, and you need to have this exposure. Obviously, I'm not a photographer, but then if and you kind of give that value, they feel like you know what you're talking about. They feel appreciative because they can obviously see you giving them some information, but you're not actually telling them how to do it. But you leave that gap, and the gap is, if you want to know how to do this, if you want to know how to capture that exposure and get the lens and all that right, then I've put the step-by-step course in it. So it's a very simple formula for a video script. Show them what, and then but not how, and then you sell the how. Another one is which I've seen Armin Morin do. You show them the hard way of doing things. So if you've got a problem that they say, you can show them the hard way of doing it. And if everyone's already doing that hard way, then they can relate to it. So you've kind of captured their attention. They go, yeah, I'll do that. And you can kind of exaggerate how hard it is and with examples. Then you show them the easy way, all right? And then you go into the how to do it, or you go for the sell. Hard, easy, and then the sell, really. The other one is my script template, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give this to you as well. So I'm going to change screens for a sec. Tuck over to a Word doc. Okay. Now you guys have got this in your course, but if it's easy, I can drop it into the Facebook group, so it's just at reach. But this is I went through a stage when I was doing a ton of video scripts and I was critiquing a lot, and I thought, bugger this, like there's just a particular formula that you guys can follow. So you can read this. It just shows you what to do, but I'm going to. This is a good way to dump your copy and fill in the blanks, right? So grab their attention. You can kind of put a sentence in here, which is the headline. Introduce yourself. This is one of those. What I'm showing you now is a script for a VSL, video sales letter, which is where you see it's a white screen and you just see the words come up. Ryan Dice, John Benson is the genius behind it. If you ever get an opportunity to buy his course, I think it's about $3,000, but it's phenomenal. It's called the Ugly Sales Letter because there's nothing flash, nothing fancy, but it gets people in a trance and they follow along the words, and you've got complete control of the sales process because generally they can't skip forward, they can't scroll down, and you've got them. So to capture people's attention, especially when people are so easily distracted these days, you really need some good compelling copy. So here's a very basic formula. Grab their attention, introduce yourself, right? Make your promise, right? You make your promise right now because they think, all right, I don't know how, I'm not even sure if I'm going to watch this whole video. Is it going to be worth my while? Here's the promise, by watching this video, here's what you can look forward to. Add some scarcity. Say, listen, if you're thinking about coming back later, you might not want to do that because I don't know how long this video is going to be up for, because the information I'm sharing with you is something I give it to my paid clients, and to be fair to them, I can't leave it up for free or they'll crucify me, right? Something like that. Then you identify their problems, right? And can you start a story here? Ideally, if you can start a story, even better. Aggravate the problem. That's when you inject emotion into it. And you're going to get this template. You can fill it in, and then when you do that, you can just put it into a PowerPoint. Present your solution, right? Add your features and benefits. What's in there? Bullet points are okay. Introduce your price. Introduce your bonus, right? Then introduce your call to action based on desire, right? Because there's different emotional triggers that get people to buy. Desires, for a lot of times one of the biggest ones. If you've kind of extrapolated the problems enough, then you can kind of build up the desire. Add some proof in here: results, testimonials, case studies, graphs, charts. Give your guarantee, right? After the guarantee, give them another call to action. This time, give them a logical reason, just to kind of fill that cup. Make sure it makes them logically justify why they should take action right now. Then inject scarcity and urgency, right? And now you might think, do we really need to do scarcity and urgency? Now, the good news is you don't have to do it, only if you want to make money, okay? So scarcity and urgency, and then the final call to action is fear, like fear of missing out on the consequences of not doing it, right? Cool. Awesome. So we're going to drop that in there, guys. You'll have that, so it'll give you a good little template to do a video sales letter. And let me tell you, business owners will pay good money for you to write a video sales letter. Going back to, here we go. Okay, a very simple email form. I'm going to be doing a lot more on emails later, but you might see this with my emails. It's very simple. Story, segue, sell. I'll pull them into a story, get them fascinated about a story, then I'll segue into and make it relevant to what I'm selling, and do that. You might have seen the most recent emails that I've done the last couple of days about. Did you guys see that about Rodriguez, the artist? Yeah. I see. So I've kind of broken that over 2 or 3 emails. So I haven't actually segued into the sell yet, but there's a reason I'm doing that. But generally I'll try and do that in one email: story, segue, and sell. Right. The other one, a Facebook ad formula. Again, you could use it. You could use the Benzavenga persuasion equation. You can use the PAS for the problem aggregate solve for Facebook ads. But here's one that I see commonly show up, and I just kind of took note of it. You call out who it is for. So are you a personal trainer, or you are a solopreneur, or whatever the case. Then you pain. You talk about the pain, then you talk about the gain. That's another way of saying problem solution. It's just what's the pain and what's the gain of taking action, and proof. So can you prove it, and then take action. That's a very cool formula. I'll see if I can show you an example of that now as well, while it's fresh. Go here. This is in your 7-hour sales machine course as well. You've got the recordings, you've got the workbooks and worksheets, and this one here, which is the printed examples. When you go through the 7-hour sales machine course, you pretty much write along a full funnel in 7 hours. We chunk it up, and here's one of the resources. So I haven't actually, let me just look at here. So here's 4 ones that I checked. So it says, are you brilliant at business but suck at marketing, or are you brilliant at marketing but suck at business? Okay, that might not be a good example. That actually converted quite well, but here's one. Confused about what marketing path to try next. I mean, I could have started off with, are you a frustrated business owner? So are you confused? Talk about the problem. If you're like most of us, your head is spinning with overwhelm. I'm kind of aggravating and putting a bit of emotion in it. Look, coming from someone who has helped generate over $220 million of sales, what's that? Right, that's proof. Here's my suggestion. Enough learners, time to implement, and I go into the action, right? So that's an example for you. But you'll see that. You'll see Facebook ads come up if the pros that are doing it, they'll generally have a bit of a formula. But in saying that, some of the Facebook ads I'm seeing right now are just full stories. When you click on it, it takes you to another page because it's so long, right? Which I quite like. So because if anyone's going to read that much, there's a good likelihood they're going to buy and stay with you and get really indoctrinated with you. Back to the slides. Cool, showtime. I've done the showtime. That's enough formulas. I don't want you to have too many formulas. I want you to pick one. So the homework is choose one formula, take action and share. Put it into action and share in the group. I'd love to you point out how you followed a particular formula. But are we all in agreement we're going to all have a go at that? Can I see thumbs up if you're going to have a crack at that? Awesome, guys. Because I just don't want this to be one-dimensional of me kind of preaching all this stuff to you. I want you guys to put into action and make money, right? So now we're going to do critique. What time we got? 5 minutes. We did that in pretty good time. So, Ian, I'm going to duck over to yours, buddy. Now, can you unmute yourself, Ian, and give us a quick 1 minute overview of this or the story behind it? Thanks.
All right, so this is part of a funnel that I'm doing. I'm going to try to implement in the next few days.
Awesome.
So this is how it goes. Basically, I'm offering a giveaway where they come from Facebook. I'm using their lead forms, which I'll get their information on Facebook, then come over to the website to get a free sample of a mud soap.
Cool.
And then when it's a free plus shipping, so they just pay for shipping. And this is the upsell after they order the mud soap.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
So this is the higher price item. So my goal here is to sell them on kind of starting their own spa at home. This is like the first set. And they could start very easily by buying this. And I'll just leave it at that and see what you take from it.
Yeah, cool. So before I ask, has this been modeled of a winning page already? Is there something you're modeling this off?
I took the template from Gary Jacobs, which he shared at the summit. I took that upsell page, but I changed it a bit.
Okay, so what was Gary selling? Just remind me, because it was information.
He was featuring different funnels we were practicing the free plus shipping, and he talked about the multiple funnel where.
Yeah.
I forget exactly, but anyway, when you registered with him, he shared one of the funnels that he uses.
Right. Okay.
And so this was one of the pages out of that shared funnel. At least I just took the style of it and read.
So he's in the e-commerce space as well?
He is. He basically, I think he does just funnel type.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's the thing. So they're getting the that mud soap at the start. So would this be the first time they've seen this packaging, this secret, and all those kind of things? Or is it been branded all the way through from the Facebook ad?
It'll be. They will have known the name and what's it, a little bit about what it's about.
Cool. So, soothing, relaxing, spa at home starter sets, 100% natural dead sea mud minerals. Look, I think that's okay. I would try and have a bit of copy beforehand, like maybe have another section, a row at the top that says, do you want the complete set, so you can benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could even say, I don't want you to miss out on the full set, right? So the fear of loss. And also...
You mean a headline above the...
Yeah, so like you'll see...
2 columns.
So where can I show you an example? I'm in danger zone here. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but hold on a second. I better I just looked. I better some power in. They're good. Let me see here. I can make over SQ. Okay, I think I found it.
Okay.
I'll just let it come up. Awesome. So this is when someone opted in for these.
Hey guys, the good's going to be sent to your email in the next few minutes. What do you want to talk to you about?
So just see this section here. That's just so I've got the headline here, the main headline, but I've got a section here. Great, your 5 marketing sheets. Well, what's it say here? Will hit your inbox in the next 15 minutes. Here's a short video while you wait, and so on and so forth. So maybe you could try something like that. You know what I mean? Above what you're trying to do.
Okay. Is that called a pre-headline?
No, that's actually a pre-headline. I don't know what the name is. We could call this a top bar headline. There you go. We've got a copyright that now. So where are we? So mate, so look, I do think it needs more. I think soothing, relaxing, spa at home starter set. I feel it needs more, but I know you're limited in space. I know that also design is really important for e-commerce. You don't want something too cheesy with the big headlines and like it, so. But I feel like you just need them to feel like that this is they need to feel like that this is a part of something, and they're only getting a small piece of to get the result. So you could even throw around, you could test different headlines for maximum results. Now, I wouldn't use the word results because sometimes I do, don't get me wrong, if you're limited in space. But results is ambiguous. We don't, people might not actually fill that in. You might have to kind of describe what the results for optimal skin care or whatever the case. What what the end result is, right? Then then you could say get the complete bundle and so on and so forth. So the word bundle is another good word you can try and use somewhere as well. Also, an idea that's coming to me is
speaking of that, bundle and set. I chose set over bundle, but
right. Yeah.
What's your thought? Yeah, is that just
here's the thing. I've stopped making predictions because you just never know. Every time we find something that works really well,
right?
It's the opposite in a different industry. Sometimes in the same industry. I remember I ran some Facebook ads, and I tested 4 different headlines, and then I put this, and we found the winning headline, and we found the one that wasn't going to work. And so I'll let my guys know all about it. Think, hey guys, here's a bit of a breakthrough for you. And then we ran the same ad but to a different audience, right? Mm-hmm. And the one that failed, absolutely smashed it. Right after I told everyone don't use it. So that was a bit embarrassing. So, but you just don't know. That's why what makes a successful marketing campaign. 60% of it is the audience, right? You've got to have the audience is the key, and then the 20% is the offer, and then the final 20% is the copywriting that carries that through, right? Mm-hmm. So, mate, I just think there's opportunity for you to add more emotion about it, make them feel like they're going to miss out, or they're getting the bargain of a lifetime by getting this bundle. Usually sells for something. I can't see where it says it usually sells for X amount. You should let them know that people in e-commerce, they want a bargain. Hey, you know that,
right?
So I don't, in the top fold, you might have this down, but you see, don't assume that people are going to scroll down. You got to put your best foot forward. So I love the countdown. Oh, you said get this now for 30% off. That's cool.
38. Yeah.
38% off. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't see it over here, but I'd make that a big dominant feature as well. Even in the top bar headline, try and here's something else. I'm going to spill over to what I'm talking about next week. But if they don't know your product, then you have to try and sell it, right? But if they do know your product, then you don't have to sell it too hard. You can just go in with a big discount.
I see.
All right. So the reason I tell you that is because if you could somehow hint towards, even on the ad, you can say you can maybe it's just an idea. You can maybe put the bundle photo up there with an arrow that points to the soap and say one of our most and say grab one of the 5 spa at home pieces for free. Click here. So they're actually seeing the bundle there.
Yeah.
And they're going through, and then you say, hey, since we're going to send it, well, we're about to send it in the mail. We might as well put the whole bundle in for you. And since it's the first time you've been here, here's a big discount.
Okay.
So none of this is just tested. This is how my brain works. I just try and look for opportunities to always think about the psychology, and the conversion of a page it starts in the first introduction from a Facebook ad. That's where the conversions start.
Okay.
No time for a spa treatment, too expensive. Yeah, that's cool. No problem. This is the most cost-effective way to treat yourself. Create your own. I'm not sure. Heather, Elaine, would you be buying that now? Or are you saying I want that? I'm not sure if Adrian is just tickling your fancy, buddy, but but anyway.
I think it's very interesting, but I'd want to know more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like this. This starter said it's cheaper than buying separately. Retail price X amount of dollars. So, mate, I would have in a different color so it stands out. Save, like retail price. Boom, you save such and such. People love saving. That's just a missed opportunity. You can do that. And you can do it in a different color, or you can do it as a stamp, so it draws your attention to it. It can be a color that's seen nowhere else on that page, which is a red or a pink, because it drives their eyes to it and it disrupts them. You know what I mean? They're just little visual triggers. This doesn't look great in my mind. It kind of looks like there's a formatting issue. So if you're going to do that, maybe you can put some bullet points there and put an image there to fill the gap. But I mean, we're only splitting hairs now, mate, aren't we? Overall, not just for kings and queens, you know, King Harold built the world's first mineral spa, Dead Sea. Look, if you're going to put people into a story like that, it might be an opportunity to have a picture that can draw people in, because when people skim read as they're going to do here, you're going to look at images and headlines, aren't they? So,
Brett, my thoughts when I was reading that was at the top I sort of was kind of interested, but then when I got to this page where there's something on two sides, my eyes were going from side to side, and then I just sort of lost a bit of interest. Do you know what I mean? I sort of just it was a little bit overwhelming, you know.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, like when I'm saying that if there's something on one side and something on the other, and then I sort of thought, oh no, it's too hard.
Yeah, you don't know. That's a good point, because you don't know. Your eyes don't know where to look, and it creates friction, sales friction. Right. So a good decent format for long form sales copy is generally like big chunky margins, so nice column. So you don't want text to go all the way across, right? I mean, imagine trying to read a newspaper without any columns, right? How many would they sell, right? So, but a good way of doing it is when Apple brought this out, like maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, they had an image here, text here. Then underneath they had another image on the other side, and then text over here, and they alternated it. That's a good way to keep short, punchy copy. Yeah, and you could follow a very similar formula like we just talked about in there. But yeah, definitely design is going to be a big conversion factor for this as well. Mate, I could go on about bullet points. We're probably going to cover that in the next couple of weeks. But if you look at did I give you guys, actually, let me just, if you want a head start, if you guys are busting and jumping out of the gate, you want a head start, a really cool resource is this copywriting cheat sheet. I'm not sure if I put that in the Google group or what, but that's got a bunch of I think I showed this last week actually, bunch of different headlines, templates. It's also got a ton of bullet points, right? Bullet points and fascinations. Get really good at writing bullet points, right? Because people will buy your product just to get one, because of one bullet point. They read that and they go, I need that, right? That's how powerful bullet points could be. But it's a double-edged sword. If you have weak, uninspiring, boring bullet points, then you just push them away, you know? So you get good at bullet points. And then conversational connectors, which I put that spreadsheet in for you guys as well. So next part is plus you get instant VIP customer status today. Yeah, so I mean, these are all good worthy chunks, but they just it just feels like we don't know where to look. So it definitely, I think it would probably suit a better bootstrap style website. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And if you're going to put another order button here, then make sure you add the countdown timer again and the discount again and the image again. All right. So that whole area should be duplicated as its own row down there as well. Oh, so you have got the countdown. My apologies, I didn't say that. You got your guarantee. So mate, you got all the parts. You got all the parts, which is cool. Good conversational thing here for guys too. Yeah, cool. Yep. I like that simplest and quickest way. Yep. Mate, yeah, I think the more you're in this group, the more you practice, you'll probably be able to make it even more conversational. But I think as a starting point, I'd go to market with that, mate, and see how you go. Okay. And then put our input into it, and that you've heard here, and see how much of a difference that makes.
Okay.
All cool.
Very good.
Yeah. So I think when you do emails, I mean this one's a little bit not as easy to critique because it's kind of in chunks, but when I critique sales letters and emails, that's when I can really get into the kind of the psychology. But this one's very, very segmented. You know what I mean? Awesome. Any feedback from you guys, or any questions from? Apologise about that.
Ian, I love it. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you.
I want one.
Very good.
Yeah. Hey,
Message me later.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Cool. So let me. I know we've kind of. Oh, we
Brett,
have gone.
I did have two. I have a question, but not about this. About what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, for it.
And you were talking about the 3 PS postscripts at the end of an email. You mentioned 3 of them, right?
Oh yeah, not so much an email, but generally a sales letter. Yeah.
A sales letter. And you mentioned what they were. I didn't catch the 3.
Okay, so the first one, as a rule, would be reiterating the big benefit. So whatever you led the sales letter with the headline, you try and put that in the first PS. All right.
Okay.
The second PS is generally talk about the guarantee. They say, no, it's safe, it's okay. If it doesn't work out, you're backed up. We got you back. All right.
Okay.
And the third one is scarcity. If you don't take it now, then there'll be full price at this time, and you might not see this page again, or I'm only taking limited spots, or whatever the case.
Okay.
No worries.
Great. Thank you.
Any other feedback or questions from today's sprints? Going once.
Brett, can I just ask you, you know how you said that when you're writing sales letters and things, you use size 16. What font do you use?
Okay, cool. Now, you picked that up well, didn't you? Did I say that yesterday, last week?
Last one.
Yeah, good on you. It was actually in emails, not sales letters. So, yes, I use Arial for my emails. And for offline, I'll use sans serif, which is the ones that got the twist like Times Roman or Georgia or something like that. But for online, as a rule, Arial or Fernando, I think. Anyway, just Arial is what I use.
Thank you.
No worries. And because here's the thing, I see some marketers who should know better. I see their emails on my iPhone, and it's so tiny and so cramped. I'm like, that's just already instant sales friction. But having the bigger space ones where they can scroll down is going to make them read, because the more they read, the more they buy. No worries. Any other questions or feedback? Is anyone want to let me know what their feedback was on today's copywriting formula session? If you can, unmute yourself now.
I'll say something. Yeah, it'll be helpful to have. This is MacKenzie, by the way. I appreciate you putting the keynote into a PDF that's accessible to everybody, because we really blew through a lot of those. Formats for a lot of different types of Facebook and VSLs and sales letters, so that'll be really helpful to have. I've also taken notes of anything. We had a few chats that were going on. I've got some things which I'll add to the Facebook group as well afterwards, so people have those resources available.
Oh, cool, man. Appreciate that. Awesome. All right, legend. All right, guys. If you have any more questions, let me know in the chat, or if you don't, just say all good, thanks, Brett, whatever the case. You can do that now. Then I know what I'm doing. All good. Thanks, MacKenzie. Thanks, Elaine. Thanks, Adrian. All good. No worries. Cool. No more questions. Fantastic, guys. Have an awesome week. Just remember the homework is to pick a formula, put it into action. You know, if you can share on the group, that'll be awesome. If you don't, that's okay. There's no problem. But I want you guys to put some stuff out there. All right, that's it for me, guys. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Catch you in the group. Bye for now.
Thanks,
See
Brett.
you.
Thanks, guys.